Good evening, shalom everybody, and those that are listening online in the future. Abba Yahuwah, I just want to thank you so much for today. I want to thank you so much for your grace, your mercy, your strength to give us the ability to endure through every hardship, every challenge that each one of us in this room has. You know our every thoughts. You know everything about us, the good and the bad and the ugly. And you know the pain that we have, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, mental. And I just ask that you'll minister to us as we choose to seek you first today. And as we choose to praise you and exalt you higher than all these cares of this world. And thank you, Abba, for giving me a song to, I guess, Psalm 23, but Psalm 22 in the Septuagint. Because that's a psalm that all of us hold dear. Just holding on to the hope and the promises that we have in you. is our authority. Yahweh, thank you so much for your shalom. Thank you for renewing our hope in you. And that's where we take rest, and that's where we abide, is our hope in you. So just bless us as we desire to want to know your ways and your truth and to go deeper. In your name, Yahuwah, through the shed blood, the blood covenant of Yahusha. Amen.
Good night, everyone. It's now the 25th of November, and we are all gathered here to have another fellowship in learning about our Holy Creator and all His humble servants.
You're not maintaining that voice the whole time, are you?
I'm not a good announcer. No, I'm not. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thanks for making it. Sometimes it's tough, but it's always great when we gather to learn more and to have fellowship with each other. So we are in Genesis chapter 25, the halfway point. And this is part 1 of Abraham and Ishmael, a legacy. And the headline for tonight is called One's Legacy, and I'm going to my native Trinidad and Tobago for this one. A leading figure in Caribbean ethnocentric politics and advocacy is the larger-than-life figure of Satnarayan Satmaraj, who passed away at the age of 88 on the 16th November 2019. A man that never shied away from controversy and spoke his mind even if it was unpopular, and not deterred if it alienated members of the group he led from 1977. He was a man outspoken about much in Trinidad and Tobago society. So this is the first episode from the news clip.
Sat Maharaj has died. Trinidad Express, November 16th, 2019. Maharaj was one of Trinidad and Tobago's most easily recognized personalities. This is owed to Satnarayan Maharaj's prolific public speaking on matters he believed negatively impacted Hindus and East Indians in TeamD, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Caribbean. Views that were mostly controversial. Recently, the police service of Trinidad and Tobago was contemplating on charging him with sedition, quoted from the same Trinidad Express article.
In April this year, Maharaj navigated one of his more memorable battles after he was threatened with sedition charges over comments made on his television program, Mahasabha Strikes Back, on the SDMS-run radio and TV Jagriti. Maharaj had remarked that crime was chasing tourists away from TeamD and implied that Tobago men were mostly rapists. The statement led the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to search the Tunapuna office of Central Broadcasting Services, the parent company of radio and TV Jagriti. For material related to Maharaj's statement, under the threat of sedition charges, Maharaj, through his attorney, raised an alarm that he was being targeted and that the police had searched CBSL without a warrant.
He clashed with other religious organizations. In 2016, Maharaj found himself clashing with citizens and clergy over government's amendment of the Child Marriage Act, effectively outlining child marriage and setting the marriageable age at 18. Maharaj was vehement that this was a constitutional violation of the rights of Hindus and opined that the new law opened the doorway for young girls to become wayward. The national community heaped scorn on Maharaj, accusing him of supporting child abuse and statutory rape, while he went on to clash with former Roman Catholic Archbishop Joseph Harris. He even took on leading figures in his own community. In 2018, Maharaj butted heads again, this time with political leader of the United National Congress and former Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar. Once bosom buddies, Prasad Bisesar was cast out by Maharaj after defending an on-the-job teacher, Nafisa Nakid, a Muslim, who was told she could not wear a hijab at Lakshmi's Girl Hindu College, where she was assigned to teach science. In typical Maharaj style, he had said Lakshmi Girls was not a training ground for teachers, and that anyone accepted to teach must conform with the school's code of conduct. Prasad Bisasar was disinvited to the SDMS Indian Arrival Day celebrations that year, and Maharaj called on the Hindu community to shun her. In response, Pandit Satyanand Maharaj of the Satya Anand Ashram, I didn't practice these names, Temple of Truth and Bliss in Aranguez, accused Maharaj of embarrassing Hindus and calling on temple members to boycott the Mahasabha celebrations.
I highly doubt that the boycott never happened at his word. Satnarayan Sat Maharaj is gold and you can take it to the bank. His word is gold and you can take it to the bank. He was a devout man to his community and his faith. So this is the last excerpt we'll be reading. So Satnarayan Maharaj died clasping the Hanuman Chalisya. This is from Trinidad Express by Anna Ramdas on November 16, 2019. Champion of many Hindus and Indians in Trinidad and Tobago, Satnarayan Maharaj died clasping the Hanuman Chalisya. In his dying moments, he clasped a copy of Hanuman Chalisya, which he always kept in his possession when he was alive, and stated a release from the Satanand Dharma Mahasabha executive and Maharaj's family just after 1 a.m. today. Maharaj, the SDMS Secretary General, suffered a stroke last Thursday at his Chamflair's home and was being treated at the Medical Associates Hospital in St. Joseph, where he died on Friday night. The Hanuman Chalisya is a popular sacred Hindu hymn devoted to, in quotes, Lord Hanuman, himself a devotee of, in quotes, Lord Rama. Chalisya is derived from the Hindi word chalis, which means 40. The Hanuman Chalisya, therefore so called because it has 40 verses that praises Hanuman, who is associated with courage, strength, and selfless service in his devotion to Rama and incarnation of Vishnu. And there's a reason why I'm quoting all of this. It should ring a bell to you.
Sat remembered as a loving leader. This is from the Trinidad Guardian, Tuesday, November 19th, 2019, by Shaliza Hassanali. Few people knew the softer side of Sat Maharaj, and many branded him as controversial, not knowing that behind his acidic tongue, Maharaj had a heart that could have melted stone. Such were the tributes at his funeral service at the SDMS headquarters, St. Augustine, yesterday. Principal of Lakshmi Girls Hindu College, Sonia Mahas, and President of the SDMS Primary School Principals Association, Charmaine Bagalu Maharaj, who both paid tribute to Maharaj, fought hard to contain their emotions yesterday as they recalled the integral role the General Secretary of the SDMS played in building a strong education system for its 43 primary and 5 secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago. His devotion was steadfast up to his death. We, as believers in YHWH Elohim, should have a strong devotion to him that is unshakable, even in the trying moments of our lives like Abraham did. He was a towering figure that would surely be missed by some. Love him or loathe him, he left a mark on the Trinidad and Tobago society that would not be matched. As for legacy. ...
So he left a legacy. Now we're going to go into the legacy of Abraham and Ishmael, and we're going to unpack the first part of Genesis chapter 25. So again, we want to always reinforce these points about the Bible study and, how we approach looking into the scriptures and how we treat each other. So it's always there to remind us. So we are in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 1.
And Abraham again took a wife whose name was Keturah.
Another marriage, a new wife, a new life. Abraham, at this stage in his life, should be home waiting for Isaac to produce children and looking forward to instructing them in the ways of Yahuwah. But not the case as he embarks on another marriage for himself. And this is an excerpt from an article called We Are All Half Brothers. And it's by a guy by the name of Reverend Anderson T. Graves.
He remarried, that's wife number 3, to a young woman named Keturah. Now Abraham was north of 150 years old at that point. And we don't know Keturah's exact age, but she was young enough to have 6 successful non-miraculous pregnancies. I know Abraham was a great man, a prophet chosen by God to be the patriarch of the Jews and the ancestor of Christ, but how rich was Abraham to convince someone's father to marry his young daughter to a 150-year-old immigrant? I know it's in the Bible, but ew. Altogether, Abraham the Hebrew had 3 wives and 8 sons.
Yeah, so that's why I chose this, because I like the way how he put forward this point about Abraham's age and marrying again. So the name Keturah has a very fragrant meaning, and it means incense. Yeah. Though old, Abraham is still full of vigor. For some of us men, companionship is essential to life. The name embodies what Abraham needed in his life at the moment. Time out to smell the sweetness of a life well lived. Abraham is not doing anything wrong by taking another wife. Also, the tribe Keturah belongs to is not mentioned in like manner of Sarah or Hagar. If Abraham is choosing another wife, we can speculate he is using the same standards for Isaac with himself, and she is from one of 3 sources. So the first, she could be another Egyptian, possibly, and a known woman from his kindred. He may have gone back to his father's house and took a wife, or a handmaid from his tent, which could be another option as well. So this is verse 2 to 4.
And she bore to him Zombran, and Jazan, and Madal, and Medium, and Jezbach, and Soi, or Shua. And Jazan begot Saba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were the Assyrians, and the Latsuians, and Laumim. And the sons of Medium were Gephar, and Aphor, and Enoch, and Abida, and Eldaga. All these were sons of Keturah.
Lots of children. More children. Father Abraham had many sons, so this song is coming to life now. Abraham had 6 more children with his new wife Keturah. In total, Abraham had 8 children, with 3 being firstborn in their own right. So that's Ishmael, Isaac, and his firstborn, which Zimran. The mere mention of these sons is not just to highlight that he is virile at this age. More so, all of Abraham's children factor into the promises of him becoming a nation, and their lives intersect with Israel eventually, through whom Yahuwah's will continues. It is important to pay attention to these names. So these are all the names and what they mean. So the first one, Zimran.
Musical.
Yokshan.
Insidious or snarer.
Medan.
Strife or contention.
Midian.
Strife or contention.
They say those 2 words are almost similar. I'm not going to dispute the experts on that. Yishbak.
He releases.
And Shua.
Meditate, muse, or commune.
The name choices for Abraham indicates that he is having some moment in his latter life. His firstborn through Keturah indicates he is joyous, and maybe his son has musical talents, whereas his last son has him contemplating on his life. So those names should sort of ask you what's going on in Abraham's life at this moment. And the other names, so we have Shiva.
7 or an oath.
We have Dedan.
Low country.
And we have Letsuim.
Oh, you missed one.
Oh, sorry, Asherim.
Name similar to Asher.
And we have Letsuim.
Hammered.
No, we have Letsuim and then Letsuim. Oh, I'm messing up these words. That's peoples. We have Ifer, gloomy, and Ephor.
A calf.
And we have Hanuch.
Dedication.
And we have Avidia.
My father knows.
And we have Elda.
God has known.
The name choices of his grandchildren is a mixed bag also. Some of the names indicate that Abraham would have told his children about the world before his time, with names such as Asherim and Enoch. Every name mentioned is connected to a family of people that is attributed to Abraham, and in some instances mentioned in prophecies such as Dedan.
Genesis 25, 5 and 6. But Abraham gave all his possessions to Isaac his son. But to the sons of his concubines Abraham gave gifts, and he sent them away from his son Isaac while he was yet living, to the east into the country of the east.
Away you go. Possessions to my beloved son and sons. Abraham is taking care of business before he is laid to rest in the cave that was purchased from Het. After he dies, there is not going to be any confusion as to who gets what. At this point, Abraham is living a simplified life with his 2 eldest, Ishmael and Isaac, looking after his affairs. But Isaac is the beneficiary of the major portion of his substance, as he is the beloved son of the promise of YHWH Elohim. Through Isaac's line, YHWH's portion, the plan of restoration of all things continues. So this is an excerpt from Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 17 to 18, also Sirach.
So from the Septuagint, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is YHWH's portion, whom being his firstborn, he nourishes with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, does not forsake him.
And this is from Isaiah 41, 8 to 9.
But you, Israel, are my servant Jacob, and he whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, whom I loved, whom I have taken hold of from the ends of the earth, and from the high places of it I have called you, and said to you, you are my servant, I have chosen you, and I have not forsaken you.
So anybody said Yah has abandoned Israel, please point them back to Isaiah. He has not. With Abraham having so many sons, it is important to establish the line of succession. Without a clear successor, it leaves room for conflict between brothers over inheritance. Abraham would not have neglected to instruct his sons in the way of YHWH. They would have to choose to continue in those footsteps as they are a part of the promises made to him. The succession just continues through Isaac. The inheritance is not just the material possessions. The rightful heir of the inheritance is one of the so-called issues that is fueling the Mideast conflicts, generally, and the Arab-Israeli situation. Ishmael has a special dispensation as the messenger or the angel of YHWH met with Hagar, his mother, at the well. He sends them to the east. Though it may be difficult to identify them, YHWH has his eyes on the children of men, and also on the children of Abraham also. And as we know, with Abraham, 3 so-called faiths are connected to him: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But that's something we could discuss further as we progress along.
Genesis 25, 7 and 8. And these were the years of the days of the life of Abraham, as many as he lived, 175 years. And Abraham failing, died in a good old age, an old man and full of days, and was added to his people.
I would love to live to 175, but not under these circumstances. Heck no. Abraham's life, a legacy unmatched. Abraham's obedience paved the way for everything that we are currently experiencing. He heeded the call from YHWH Elohim and left the house of his father Terah. He took his wife Sarah and nephew Lot and went to an unknown land. Not so easy even in this day, but not impossible. He encountered many challenges in the land of his sojourning. He was initially childless and hoped to make his senior servant his heir. He and Sarah jumped ahead of YHWH Elohim, and Ishmael resulted through Hagar. He went up against kings of the east and prevailed. He restored Lot to his substance. He pleaded for the possible righteous in the cities of the plain, and only his nephew and grandnieces made it out alive. He gained the respect of the king of the Philistines, Abimelech, and lived in the land without harassment. He then mourned the death of his wife Sarah, and took charge of his son Isaac, and ensured he had a wife to carry on the work of YHWH Elohim. Abraham did not cause too much of a stir in the land of his sojourning. He gained the respect of the people living in the land, and had an elevated status among them. He had no known enemies of man. Maybe how the unseen forces trying to disrupt the matters of YHWH Elohim. There was both joy and sorrow in his tent. He is a friend and servant of YHWH Elohim, and found righteousness among all men of his generation. Found righteous among all men of his generation. He is mentioned in reverence to this day among those who attach their tent pegs to him. His memory is not forgotten. Even in death, his name lives on.
Abraham had a life well lived as an example to us on how to walk with YHWH Elohim, and it being accounted to you for righteousness. As for legacy, Abraham, he has a great one that will never be matched by any man who walks upon the earth. Further, him choosing YHWH Elohim makes it all the more great.
So that's what a legacy should be all about. Not having negative things associated with it, but mostly positive.
Genesis 25, 9 and 10. And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the double cave in the field of Ephron, the son of Sar, the Chetite or Hittite, which is over against Mamre, even the field and the cave which Abraham bought of the sons of Chet. There they buried Abraham and Sarah, his wife.
So Abraham's burial, the firstborn and the beloved. Both Ishmael and Isaac have a role in the last rites of their father. The cave was purchased to bury his wife Sarah. He is now being interred by his two eldest sons, rejoining his wife in death. Abraham's life is extended another 39 years after the death of Sarah, more than enough time to add numbers to his lineage. Isaac is now 75 years and Ishmael is now 89 years. And you can go back to chapter 23 where I broke down all the times, because all of that is important moving forward for what is going to be happening next.
Their ages are important for understanding the events that occur next. Both Isaac and his brother Ishmael having a role in their father's burial shows that they both had stature in their father's tent. Most likely, both Isaac and Ishmael understood their roles and the importance of being attached to the Elohim of their father. As much as teachings surrounding them both tend to dwell on so-called Arab-Israeli geopolitics, their relationships seem to be solid, as the rock, the cave their father is buried in. As well, they both continue to sojourn in a land not immediately their own, but would eventually become their own through their father and the will of YHWH Elohim.
Verse 11.
And it came to pass after Abraham was dead, that Elohim blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac dwelt by the well of the vision.
Be'er lehi rohi. Blessed from father to beloved son. And Aaron's staff is there for a reason. Isaac being bestowed with being blessed by Yahuwah is an acknowledgement that he is the one chosen by him to move forward with his plan of restoration. There are instances where other zealous persons want to have the, in quotes, upfront recognition. So this is from Numbers as we jump ahead, 17, 1-5.
And YHWH spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and take rods of them according to the houses of their families, a rod from all their princes, according to the houses of their families, 12 rods, and write the name of each on his rod, and write the name of Aaron on the rod of Levi, for it is one rod for each. They shall give them according to the tribe of the house of their families. And you shall put them in the tabernacle of witness before the testimony, where I will be made known to you. And it shall be, the man whom I shall choose, his rod shall blossom, and I will remove from me the murmuring of the children of Israel, which they murmur against you.
So it doesn't matter how much you want to be upfront. Whoever Yah chooses, just let Yah do what he needs to do. Don't get in his way. He has his reasons, just accept it and keep moving. Both Abraham and Yahuwah have made it clear about the succession, and at this moment there should be no squabbles about it. Having 3 firstborn sons through their respective mothers, each having a legitimate claim. But Ishmael has a special dispensation, and Isaac is the son of promise. Human nature dictates we should fight over everything. This is also true for replacement theology about, in quotes, the church being spiritual Israel. There is no such thing, but it is a doctrine that has skewed true understanding of the scriptures, whichever version one chooses to adhere. In the end, YHWH Elohim would cause the bud of righteousness of the persons and nations he has chosen to carry out his will. YHWH Elohim has an order of things, and from the patterns in the past, expect the same patterns in the present, and also into the future.
Genesis 25:12. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, whom Hagar the Egyptian, the handmaid of Sarah, bore to Abram.
Ishmael, a promise made to Hagar. Not much is known about Ishmael except for the circumstances of his birth and a few mentions in the scriptures, including the moment his mother arranged his, in quotes, first marriage to one of her kindred out of Egypt. Some of his descendants do play a role in end-time prophecy, albeit in negative one at times. His descendants' lives doesn't intersect with does intersect with his brother Isaac's generations in not so good ways. The apple does fall far from the tree, and YHWH Elohim is a fair judge of and to all flesh. Like his father Abraham, his age and generations are mentioned. This helped connect even events that happens next with all of Abraham's children. So we're in verse 13 to 16.
And these are the names of the son of Ishmael, according to the names of their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebaioth, and Kedar, and Nabdeel, and Masam, and Masma, and Duma, and Masi, and Chodan, and Thamon, and Jetur, Nephesh, and Kedma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names and their tents and in their dwellings, 12 princes according to their nations.
Ishmael, the 12 sons of Ishmael. Each of Ishmael's sons are described as a nation. Thus the word of the messenger or the angel from chapter 16 to Hagar to his mother being ratified. He has 12 children who are designated princes or Nazi. Please pay careful attention to each name. And there's a reason why that image is over there on the left, on the right. Naviot,
Heights.
Kedar,
Dark.
and as I gave a scripture reference there, Songs of Solomon 1 verse 5, sons of Ishmael. So that's where the tents of Kedar come from, Ishmael. So we are Abdel,
Chastened of God.
Missam,
A sweet order.
Mishma,
A hearing.
Duma,
Silence.
Massa.
Burden.
Now that word Massa is very interesting. An unpleasant thought. We have a saying back home, Massa Day is done. It's attributed to when slavery ended in the British Caribbean. But when I look up the name Massa, I realize it means burden, and slavery was a burden. So it makes sense that Massa Day done means something now. So Hadad,
Mighty.
Tima,
Desert.
Yitta,
Enclosed.
Naphish,
Refreshment.
and Kedima.
Original.
So those are the 12 sons of Ishmael. Okay.
And 17 and 18. These are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he failed and died and was added to his fathers. And he dwelt from Evelat to Sur, which is opposite Egypt, until one comes to the Assyrians. He dwelt in the presence of all his brethren.
Ishmael's life. He lived before his brethren. Ishmael lives for another 48 years after the death of his father Abraham, before he took his final living breath. His brother Isaac is 123 years, and their remaining siblings would be as old as 89 years, the children of Keturah. His 12 sons would have taken care of business after his death. Not much is known about the life of Ishmael from the Torah. Extra details is gained from extra biblical sources. Unfortunately, Ishmael's legacy is often tied to Islam, where it is stated that, in quotes, Prophet Muhammad is a direct descendant of his. And this is further from the truth. This figure is tied to Ishmael as to give the religion some legs to stand on and connect it back to Abraham. So this is Ishmael is not the father of the Arabs by Dr. Mark Dury.
The commonly held view that Ishmael was the father of the Arab nations is not supported by the Bible nor by any other historical evidence. A common assumption. For centuries, many Muslims, Christians, and Jews have taken it for granted that the Arabs descended from Abraham through Ishmael. As Gerald Hotting put it, the idea that the Arabs are the physical descendants of Abraham through Ishmael is indeed taken by many non-Muslims as well as Muslims as a genealogical and historical fact. Authors and teachers often treat the word Ishmael as a kind of code for Islam or Muslims. Examples of book titles which reflect this are Faisal Malik's Here Comes Ishmael, a call to Christians to reach out to Muslims, Martin Gilbert's In Ishmael's House, a history of the Jews under Islam, and Israel and Ishmael, Studies in Muslim-Jewish Relations, edited by Tudor Parfit.
Continuing, in the same vein, and over a thousand years ago, John of Damascus, writing after the conquest of Syria by Muslim armies, wrote a treatise on Islam called The Heresy of the Ishmaelites.
So, Greece for the preacher's mill. Many Christian teachers have looked to Genesis for prophetic anticipations of the trajectory of the Arabs and of Islam. On the one hand, there is the blessing for Ishmael in Genesis 17:20, and as for Ishmael, I have heard you, I will surely bless him, I will make him fruitful, and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. This is in line with God's promise to Hagar that her son's descendants will be too numerous to count. Genesis 16:10. On the other hand, they have also looked into Genesis 16:12, in which an angel prophesies to Hagar, Ishmael's mother, that her son will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. Then later, Genesis 25:18 reports that Ishmael's descendants lived in hostility towards all their brothers. Preachers have also traced the spiritual roots of the conflict between Muslims and Jews back to the rejection of Hagar and her son by Abraham and Sarah. Some even trace the Israeli-Palestinian conflict back to the rivalry between Isaac and Ishmael and their competing blessings. Fact or fantasy?
So there is more to this piece. I would advise everybody, when I put it up on the website, go read it. It's very informative.
This is a major reset.
Yeah. And this is something that I've never agreed with. It just doesn't make sense. Especially if Yah says X, why are we trying to force Y to happen? But that's how we build doctrines.
Clarifying your meaning that you're not in support of
that doctrine that every Muslim is of the house of Ishmael, right, or that fact. It doesn't fit. As the focus shifts to Isaac, it was important to learn about the fate of these men at this specific moment in their lives. Abraham and Ishmael are laid to rest. Abraham winds down his operation as Isaac now ramps up his. But he and Ishmael are not out of the picture, even though not mentioned directly at times. So that's why these ages are important, because when we get to Isaac, there's a dynamic playing out, even though Abraham is not mentioned. I believe he's influencing things. So this is a quote from Sir Isaac Newton. I should have used this in the last Bible study when I referenced the passages from Revelation, but it slipped me, so I decided to bring it here now. And for those who are not aware, Sir Isaac Newton did a lot of research into Daniel as well as Revelation. So he said, about the time of the end, a body of men will be raised up who will turn their attention to the prophecies and insist upon their literal interpretation in the midst of much clamor and opposition. What is he saying? Right now with prophecy, especially what was spoken about in the last study, there is a lot of stuff out there about what people think is end-time prophecy as it relates to Daniel, Revelation, and everything else. And we tend to apply a lot of allegory to it. But I am saying let's look at things for literally what they are.
And that is a major reset, because we've been handed a filter to look through, to look at prophecy. And we need to reset.
So from this point moving forward, we should be looking at things literally. Especially when we look out into the horizon and we see things that we can't really explain and fit back into that narrative. It's best that we think outside of the box than what they tell us we should be thinking. So that's why I put this quote from Sir Isaac Newton, and for many other reasons as well. So that's the end of part 1. Genesis 25, 1-18, Abraham and Ishmael, a legacy. Hopefully a positive one in our minds. Questions, comments, insights?
So I was curious about that.
Sheila?
Yeah, because in other ones, and I think one other place you referenced in there, and it said to be brought low or whatever, but the other one was that I had looked up. So one of the reasons that we say, instead of Yeshua, we say Yahusha, we say it a little different, was because that was a Canaanite derivative of to be brought low or something like that. And it said that he will not, it also meant to cry out was the other meaning that I had looked at. And it says that he wouldn't cause his son to cry out. So I was curious about that. I'm not sure. It was at the beginning of this.
Oh, that would mean meditate news for me. That's sure.
Yeah, but I have read other meanings of that in concordance.
And that's the challenge with concordances. I went with the consensus. I didn't see any conflict with that word, but hence the Strong's number is there for us to look into it deeper. Yeah. So, and I have a link on the website to the reference.
Well, and because we didn't know the background of the picture, and nothing's really said of her, right? She could very well come to that.
Exactly, and I think her background is not necessary to be known. What is important is that there are children who is going to be carrying on the legacy, and though these children are not mentioned explicitly, we have to go into the prophets to see where these children are impacting things coming up, especially Dedan. They impact Ishmael as well, but I will deal with Ishmael when we get to Joseph, because Ishmael pops up again when we deal with Joseph, and that's where I'll tie up all that stuff with prophecy and Ishmael.
And that's
yes.
And that's it's like Daniel's mentioned this before, how they've been muddying borders and basically changing the definition of nations and countries and stuff. And nations play a huge role in end-time prophecy. And if they've been moving people around and relocating and stuff, so we don't know who's who, it's just going to be interesting. We just need to watch, and we pray for God's eyes to open our eyes, to see.
The important thing with that is Yah knows who is who, and he knows where everybody is. And his enemies could continue playing musical chairs. It's only to fool those whose eyes are not open. Yeah. I am not fooled.
Because they're still here.
I've been seeing them.
Everything moving in, he was always
Hang on.
bringing about mixture.
Say that again?
Right, the Hyksos, when he was bringing them in, he was always bringing in mixture. The enemy was always planting seeds among Yah's people to deter them, to lead them astray. Even when they left, it said it was a mixed multitude when they went into...
Can you define what Hyksos is?
Oh, it's the people group that they think were part of the mixed multitude when Israel left Egypt, Mitzrayim. Okay. And so they left, and there was this mixed multitude, like people that were kind of sprinkled in there by the enemy, right, to dissuade Yah's people even out, and that's probably why they would say bring about the golden calf and everything, because these other people were leaders and whatever. It was this whole people group that has been kind of planted all along the way. Anyways, this mixture of mixing these multitudes is what I was saying. Yeah.
It's intentional.
And there is some research that want to say the Hyksos were Hebrews, but that's a whole other stupid philosophy out there. But that parable with the anointed one, where he spoke about the Satan or the devil came and sowed tares among the wheat. And what did the angel see? There is tares among the wheat. Shall we root them up now? Let them grow together. In the end, you will determine who is who. He would weed out the tares and put them in the furnace for burning. And then he'll gather up the wheat into his bands. It's talking about the gathering. It's talking about filtering out all of the bad seed that has been mixed among the good seed. So that's what that parable is all about. Our Father, we thank you for another night. We thank you for your favor in, getting here and having everybody be a part of this study. We ask that you continue to open our eyes to your truth. Help us to understand things from your perspective and to keep trusting in you even when things get challenging. And we ask that you guide everyone home safely and carry us through another week. In your name we pray. Amen.